So I think I can just talk through the slides and then share the slides with the participants later on. We might be having some network problems here. So thank you for having me. My name is Josephine, as you have been introduced. My job here is just to encourage and to motivate our participants to attend the Indaba. I'll be talking about enterprise development. I'm very passionate about enterprise development with regards to women empowerment and youth empowerment in grassroots communities and underdeveloped communities. So agriculture, as we all know, it is the backbone of many African countries. So first of all, I'm just going to go through what agribusiness development, because I'm on the business side of things. Agribusiness involves all agricultural business activities from production to consumption, including the supply of agricultural inputs, as well as the processing and distribution of agricultural products. Now, as you can see, if you look in Google, if you look in agricultural books, this is basically the main definition of agribusiness. But what we have tended to do, maybe in the 21st century, is leave some very, very important cogs in the value chain for agriculture to thrive. So I've also added in here enterprise development and media. You will see that with agriculture, you're looking at the supply side of things, you're looking at the technology, you're looking at crop production, you're looking at all those things in the value chain. But what has tended to be neglected in this value chain is the enterprise development and the media. And we all know that when most Africans, they learn agriculture through their families. And it's something that is not taken mostly as an enterprise. So this kind of thinking grows with people. And if you look at SME researches that have done in Africa, in Zimbabwe, you'll find that many SMEs are survivalist in nature. So people tend to just do agriculture to survive, not to build it as a very, very viable and thriving organizations. So and we find that most of our agricultural farmers, they tend to remain in this productive mode without really pursuing and without penetrating other forms in the value chain. So this is very, very important. As we have rightly said, according to FAO, by 2015, we'll need to produce 60% more food to feed a world population of 9.3 billion. Only 13 countries have developed export specializations. National markets are the main destination for African products, and interregional trade volume remains low at between 15% of total trade. And very, very importantly, food production sectors have the least access to finance, especially in Africa. So I find that there are really there's a really big market for agricultural produce, but also we have got all these pending problems that have always been part of the agricultural value chain. But the markets are there. The potential is very huge in Zimbabwe, in sub-Saharan Africa as well, and again, on a global market. And if you look at how the access to African markets, you find that in Southern Africa only produces about 14% of the total African agriculture. So you find that in Southern Africa itself, there are huge markets in terms of agricultural produce. What are the problems that we find within the agricultural value chain? We find that there is inadequate big data. Research remains a really big problem, especially within the agricultural value chain. We do not know the size of the markets. We do not know where the producers, we do not know the profiling of the producers. We do not know the mapping of the producers. For example, if you go on to the pig industry, who is really out there? What are they really producing? What are the gaps in the market for that particular industry. If somebody wants to go into that market, where are the gaps? Where is the investment? We have also very weak synergetic relationships. If you look at Zimbabwe, if you look at Africa, we really don't know who to connect with whom. Who do we connect with the markets? For example, I was chatting in a group of paprika and chili producers. Some of them were asking, where are the markets? I've got this chili that I produced, where are the markets? So we should really build these synergetic relationships to say, if a farmer already has a product, where are they going to get their best prices? Very, very importantly, we have got lack of enterprise development. Agriculture has remained largely, and I put in quotes, as a hobby. People are beginning to emerge to see the potentials that in the agricultural value chain, but it has really remained in very small scale. When I was in Mutare, a city in Manicaland province in Zimbabwe, there were some SMEs who were told to supply a very huge chain with doors. The first lot, they did it very well. The second lot, they did not, the quality was there, so they were all rejected. Now, it's exactly the same with the agricultural markets. We have got people who will supply maybe garlic to a retail chain. They supply this month, the next month they are not able to meet capacity. So those are the enterprise development issues that we have to look at. How do you consistently supply a market? No retailer wants to say, you know what, you don't have garlic this month, so we are not going to contract you anymore. So this enterprise development, the business side, the finance side, the marketing side, the human resources, the operation side are really lacking within the agricultural value chain. Very, very important. Victor is going to talk about quality standards. What are our quality standards? Do we have quality standards in Africa? Have we developed our own quality standards for our own agricultural produce? We know there is gap, which can be very, very pricey, especially for African farmers. But do we, as Africans, farmers, have those quality standards? I've already talked about the survivalist attitude, and also we have very loosely knit agricultural associations. There are many agricultural associations, piggery association, horticultural association, whatever association that are there. But are they really binding? What value are they giving to their members? Where do they meet as associations to ensure that they fulfill the needs of the agricultural value chain? So this then also now we have the enterprise development itself. It's basically developing your agricultural activity into a huge enterprise. So you need to do the marketing, you will need to do the financing, you will need to do the branding, you will need to do human resources, you need to do CSR, you will need to do networking. So you will find that in terms of human resources, many agricultural farms, they are very family owned. So it's your mom, your grandmother, your wife, your children, but really getting a manager who is going to manage your agricultural concern is very, very important. So those are some of the things that we are going to be talking about in the Indaba. How do you now move from just being an agricultural concern, a small one, to building a big agricultural concern, for example, like Selby in Zimbabwe, like this big Ivins. If you go to Ivins itself in Zimbabwe, they are huge buildings, they are offices, they've got cars, they've got huge departments that actually man the premises. So this is very, very important. Now I'm going to round off with what I really want to call the Achilles heels, where we are simply there have been a lot of complaints in terms of markets, in terms of access to finance. I would like to challenge everyone who is here to say, do we really have problems with markets, or it is our failure to develop our own markets, to develop consistently, to say if you are going to give a product to Pick and Pay or ShopRite, we really have not developed the capacity to do so. Why is that so? Because sometimes as farmers, we are still working in silos. You've got your 100 chickens, which you deliver one day, and the next month you cannot deliver. So are we really saying that we do not have markets, or we have not really understood the dynamics of what our retailers and what are the consumers of agricultural products really want? It's something that has been really flighted. It's something that people have complained about, but I would like to challenge everyone here to say, do we really not have markets when you have that when you've got that need for agricultural products? Then also we have a problem with access to finance. As I have said before, I've worked a lot with women in grassroots projects. I've worked a lot with youth, but we are saying that you've got a huge population. For example, these days I'm doing some research on savings clubs. I have found that there are about 500 women in those savings clubs. And if every woman every month or every week pays $1, we have about $500. If they do so for the rest of the month, they've got 2,000. That's enough for startup funds. So do we really have problems with access to funds? As you all know, banks also want to protect their investments. They also want to protect their shareholder interests. So if we do not have any equity, if we do not have any surety, are they going to give us the money? So we have to find very, very innovative and creative ways of accessing to funds, because as I have already presented, agricultural related industries are the least funded by banks because of their high risks. So it's something that we want to talk about in the Indaba, just how you build your agricultural concern into a big industry. And I would like to encourage all farmers here to say, you know what, let's stop this business of, you know what, it's just a hobby. I'm having this small piece of land. I'm just doing this and that. Think like an entrepreneur. Think like Bill Gates. Think like Elon Musk. Have a strategy for 5 years. 5 years, I want to be $1 billion industry. How am I going to get there? Who am I going to get there? Why do I want this? So this is the kind of thinking that we really need to start developing in order for us to develop very huge agricultural enterprises. And if possible, let's stop complaining about the markets, about the access to finance. Markets are there. Let's be innovative. Let's be creative. Thank you very much.
Sorry, Josephine, there's someone who has got a noise in the background. Can you mute your mic? Josephine, can you stop sharing so that I can see who is making noise? Then I can unmute them. Thank you. All right, you can go ahead.
From which part?
I think you were rounding up, and I interrupted you because there was background music, background noise. Can you hear me?
Okay. What I just want to encourage the entrepreneurs and the agripreneurs who are attending this platform is, now let's be innovative. Let's be creative. There's a lot of technology that is out there that has been developed that you can still develop as African countries. Let's stop complaining about access to financing and find areas, and let's find innovative and creative ways to build our own financing, to resource our own agricultural enterprises. The markets are there. The thing is, we have just not been consistent in supplying our markets, maybe also with quality produce. So it's something also that that we really need now to think about and really build capacity towards ensuring that we build quality produce to just not national markets only, regional, continental, and also global markets. Is something that can be done if we change our mindset. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Josephine, for such a informative and exciting presentation. We have been challenged that let's think in other terms and other ways, develop enterprise, look at agriculture as a business, not as a hobby. Are there any questions on the platform for Josephine before we go to the next speaker?
Hello. Hello, good evening.
Good evening.
I'm Dorothy. Sorry, I joined a bit late, like 10 minutes late. I just received the link. So, but I'm very happy to participate in this program. And I think I want to congratulate Josephine for the well-articulated presentation. I'm an agri-entrepreneur. I run a company which is in egg production. We produce oyster mushrooms, and we also are in vegetable and fruit production. So really, I want to agree with her that the way we have approached agriculture is true. It's from a family point of view and for just survival. And most of the times, we haven't yet grown these businesses into big enterprises. And right now, we are trying to do that here in Zambia. I'm from Zambia. And I agree with her totally, like our company, we do not have a problem with market. Actually, we can't satisfy the local market. With eggs, we run out of eggs, with everything. So the issue has been on what she has spoken about, the innovative financing methods, because we have tried even the village banking, but you find that the disposable incomes that the people you'd want to bring together, it's not matching up. So I don't know, I wanted that to give me an example of the success stories that maybe she has made on maybe just one innovative way of financing and how they manage to achieve or source local funding, so that maybe we can learn from there. What is it that we are doing wrong here? Thank you.
Okay, and just
Thank
you want to respond?
Thank you, Dorothy, for that. I'll try and look for agricultural examples, but they are just the ones that pop out. If you go to Kenya, there's a town in Kenya where the university was being set up. So there were women in that particular town who said that, this university does not have any hostels. These were just vendors, just, small scale producers, vendors, just selling fruits and vegetables. They came together, thousands of them put their money together as savings clubs and build these hostels. Now they are getting a lot of returns from those hostels, from those students. So that's one. If you also go to Kenya, I love Kenya because it's got a lot of innovative technological and a lot of financing solutions that it has shared with Africa. They are what we call bola drivers, those ones who drive those little motorbikes. You can also Google that. They also came together. They did not have any houses, came together, shared their funds. Now they have built houses, they've built complexes. And you can imagine a person who just drives a bike living in a very nice complex. So that's an innovative way how people came together and then shared their resources and then did something with their resources. If you go to South Africa, we have what we call stokvels. I think when I was still in South Africa, they were sitting stokvels, just their savings. They were still sitting on $45 billion. So that got the attention of banks, that got the attention of retail sectors. So at the end of the year, you find ShopRite now does not wait for a Stockville to come to them. They will actually go to Soweto and offer discounts for these women who have saved up $1 million for groceries, and then they'll give them groceries. So this has been very, very successful. So it's something that we should start thinking about. The problem with Africans, especially women, because I work a lot with a lot of women, it's getting together, building something. We like to do in silos, we like to do individual things. Individual things at this, where we are going, is not going to help us. I hope you answered, Dorothy.
Okay, yeah, I wouldn't want to like take up most of the time, but I would like to engage further on this one, because we have tried, but we've hit a snag. So I just wanted to know, with the individual problems that you have in the group, how those problems have been sorted out to ensure that the funds keep coming, because you can start as a group, and then at some point, some people want to come up, the objectives, they change. I want to do something else. And, it becomes a mess. So how do they manage to glue people together so that the interest is kept on, and people still get interested? Because you find that so many people change their minds along the way. You start something now, along the way, funds are pulled out.
There's also something that comes to mind when I was in Manicaland province in Zimbabwe. A team of we had a team, and myself included. We designed a product, a financial product, with a local bank. The women, what we said was, a woman should pay into the bank a certain amount for 3 months. After that 3 months, they will get double the amount that they have paid at a certain interest. That 3 months deposit was going to be their surety. It met with very reasonable success, for that particular bank. So that's another model that also we can also think about.
I would really want to engage with you further on, but let me give chance to others.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. And Victor, if you can take note of there's Zebi in the chat. He wants to know if there's a WhatsApp group. I think you can add him to the Zambian one. There's Zebi and the Claire. They want to join the WhatsApp groups for Zambia. Any other questions or comments or point of clarification for Josephine?
Good evening. My name is Nangi and I come from Zimbabwe. I'm a very small farmer at the moment. And thank you, Josephine. It was very intriguing. It got us thinking and seeing quite a number of things that we are not doing right as we try farming. I was intrigued by when you mentioned the size of markets and having a market before we grow anything, or just some ideas of how you would go about finding out your market. Let's say I want to sell tomatoes.
Thank you so much for that very important question. I think all the market questions we are going to answer them in the Indaba, because it's a very, very big industry. So you have your market scoping, you have your market segmentation studies, market scoping studies, which you really don't do as agricultural enterprises. Who is buying? What is the value chain? And as I said before, we lack big data. At the moment, you are doing tomatoes, isn't it? So you really don't know who is buying the tomatoes, who is taking up the tomatoes, the retail, what type of tomatoes are wanted, global. So these are very, very big market research studies we actually should be doing. So what we can actually do is teach you the basis of market research, of market scoping, of market segmentation. When you are saying market segmentation, you're actually segmenting your market to say what age group, which type of supermarkets do I need to supply my tomatoes and things like that. So again, this is something which we need to build capacity. But those studies are there. If you go to, I like the South African example. If you just Google or click sunflower value chain, it will tell you everything on the value chain of the sunflower, something that we are lacking in most African countries, including Zimbabwe. So it's capacity that I'll be willing to build in all the agri-entrepreneurs, because that's the first point of really being a good entrepreneur.